You want to see a magic trick? Wow. Well, after convening with Coach, we already knew today was going to be a chest day. Feeling a lot more drained as I go. Cardio has never really been an issue, but the lifts, while I'm getting better at, breathing, I'm just a lot more exhausted after every set. It's tough. I keep pushing to failure, but it's not more painful. It's just, I guess, more taxing, the further I go. And I try and time my meals a lot more around the workout and then, around the cardio too, to make sure that I can do the best I can with what I got, but trying to keep the weights heavy. And, I'm starting to get more appreciation for the kind of cable fly movements and the, things that I can really work on heavy, but, not be as dangerous to my joints and my muscles, considering I don't have a lot in me. But ultimately, pushing hard is the key. You see a lot of my final sets. That's what I end up, showing you. And I'm, form isn't great by then. I try to keep it solid throughout, but it ends up being that I just get tired, and I just keep cranking it out, so to speak. I feel like pushing myself to failure is what helps me get better. Just like Coach is always, biting at my hand to failure. To get better, you got to just keep pushing the envelope. And it's tough, between the brain fog, between having trouble, catching my breath between sets, but, you just keep going day after day. You just got to keep getting better. So I'm going to finish finish up a little bit of pre-workout food. Can't even think of what I was about to say. Finish the rest of my food, drink a little pre-workout, and head to do chest. That might have been the roughest chest day I've had, but I did it. That's all that matters. It's just brain fog is the number one problem right now. I know I have to cut hard. There's a lot of fat to lose, and it's imperative that I get to the point where I may not. I don't go in expecting to win, but I want to have a respectable position. I want to place well. I want to, be proud of the product I put out there. And, I knew this was going to be tough going in. And I have even more respect for the dudes that do this all the time. But, I think this speaks to one of the core things that I value, and that's grit. I might not be the best, but I'm not going to quit. even if I'm not happy with my, current positioning, I'm going to just keep plugging away. And I'm just gonna work as hard as I can. That's what I've always done. It comes down to going in and day out, whether I want to or not, lifting the weights, pushing myself, adjusting when I need to, but really just going as hard as I can. And that's about getting the cardio in and, having the restraint in the kitchen, having things that are voluminous that I can eat. So it helps me a little bit, but also just not being fat, so to speak. It's not meant to be mean, but I'm a fat guy. It's always how I've been. And at some point, you just gotta buckle down and stop eating as much. That's what it comes down to. And even when it gets to the point where you feel like garbage, you don't stop. That's not how you win. It's not how you do well. And in other sports, it's different, but it's a similar thing. If you want to be better at anything, you just have to work as hard as you can. You have to sacrifice, and that's what this comes down to. No matter how cloudy my head gets, no matter how hungry I get or tired, day after day, you just got to keep going back, asking for more. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my cardio today, which I hope you guys do too. Tomorrow's going to be back day. It'll be a nice day. I'm going to get a great pump, and I'm going to be feeling a little better, hopefully. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Get your cardio in, go work out, have a fun day.